breaking news happening right as I was getting ready to upload this video. So we're going to talk about this right now. Coach Nick Sirianni is saying Bryce Huff has got a procedure coming on his wrist. Jeff McClain wrote this. Pound Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni confirms that Bryce Huff will undergo a procedure on his left wrist this Thursday. Said he's been playing through the injury the last two games. He did something to his wrist during warm-ups. So it's going to be interesting to see when he comes back. And in the meantime, they're saying that Jalyx Hunt could get a much bigger or much more significant role in this defense, which I absolutely love. So hopefully Bryce Huff will get better and heal, and hopefully we'll get him back at some point. But let's face it, he hasn't lit it up. It's not like he's done a whole lot. Meanwhile, you got guys like Jalen Carter, like Nolan Smith. I believe Jalyx Hunt when he gets a chance. Josh Sweat. They're all playing good, as well as my man Jordan Davis. So a procedure, Bryce Huff for his wrist, getting ready to undergo, and he will be back. He won't be back for a while. When? We will find out soon. But now, let's get to this video. The Eagles have a huge game where the secondary may have their toughest test yet. But make no mistake about it, the Eagles right now are on a collision course with the Detroit Lions. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here. The Eagles, no question about it, are on a collision course with the Detroit Lions. That said, they still got to take care of business this week as they take on the Los Angeles Rams. And this is perhaps the biggest test for this secondary. And on a national stage, Sunday Night Football, the world is going to see. The world is going to start to fear, one, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, because these mother humpers are for real. And the Eagles are getting ready to double moonwalk that ass this week. I have no doubt about it. Yes, I'm a little hyped up this morning. I'm a little ready for some Eagles football. I'm excited about where this team is going, and I think they can win it all. I really believe that 100%. Now, before we get more into the Eagles and the Rams and all that, a few things we got to talk about. First, Pro Football Hall of Fame. Breaking news. Well, broke a little while ago, but the 25 modern era player semi-finalists have been selected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. Once again on that list, for the fifth year in a row, is Eric Allen. Eric Allen, and I'm going to say this, if any other cornerback gets in before Eric Allen, at this point going forward, it's a disgrace. And let me tell you, it's already a disgrace that Eric Allen isn't in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He made plenty of Pro Bowls. And you know what? The truth of the matter is maybe if we make enough fuss about it as fans and people talk enough about it, maybe he'll finally get his due respect. But Eric Allen is one of the best all-around pure corners I've ever seen, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. No question about it. Even most Giant fans that have watched him, Cowboy fans, Washington fans that have watched him will agree that Eric Allen deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And hopefully one day, and hopefully this year, he'll get in. Now, also, I want to talk a little bit about this because I think it's interesting. It's something to watch. I don't really care, to be honest, whether it happens or not, because I don't think the Eagles need it at this point. But Adam Schefter reported yesterday that New York Jets have fired GM Joe Douglas. And listen, Joe Douglas was with the Eagles before he went to the Jets. We all know that. He helped Howie Roseman. He did a pretty good job with the Eagles. He was pretty good. He was supposed to be our talent evaluator. Now there's a lot of talk and questions whether Joe Douglas will come back to Philly to work with Howie Roseman again. My feelings are this, and I said this early during preseason, when it looked like Nakobe Dean wasn't going to play, and it looked like Nolan Smith, we weren't getting anything from him. I said, maybe Howie Roseman needs a guy to come in and be a talent evaluator. And that holds true if these guys don't develop. But all of a sudden, Nolan Smith is starting to play really good. Nakobe Dean playing really good. Jalen Carter starting to become dominant. Jordan Davis has been playing good as of late especially, and I think it's a bad rap. These guys are actually playing good. Devontae Smith, fantastic draft pick. I mean, all of a sudden, when you look at Howie Roseman over the last few drafts, he's done a decent job. And with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and Jalyx Hunt showing what they're showing in their rookie years, right now the Eagles don't need Joe Douglas. Now, if they think that he could help out, if Howie would like to have him in his ear, I'm all for it. Joe Douglas has had some good picks with the Jets. He's had some bad picks with the Jets. Some notable ones are Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Will McDonald, Braylon Allen, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Carter II. He also traded for Aaron Rodgers, who looked shot. He just traded for Devontae Adams, and then he got totally robbed with the whole Hassan Reddick thing. So, he's had good moments, and he's had bad moments. To me, I don't think the Eagles need him right now. I think Howie Roseman is coming off his best draft of his career. Now, like I said, if Howie feels like he could help and he would like his advice and wants to have him there, fine. But I think if these picks over the last few years, if they continue to play good and look like they can play, then you got to give Howie Roseman the credit he deserves. And if they don't hit, then yes, Howie's got to get some help in their evaluating talent. But right now, I don't think the way things are looking with the way Nolan Smith is playing, the way Nakobe Dean is playing, the way Jordan Davis is playing. Okay, the way these guys are playing it, and I'm probably missing other guys, especially with the draft class they just had. I don't think Howie needs any help. I think he's doing just fine. And I say that after saying earlier in the year when, more in the preseason when we didn't know what we were getting from any of those guys, he might need help if these guys don't pan out. Well, guess what? They're panning them all, they're humping out. So, yeah, let's do it, okay? Now, here's the truth of the matter. When you look at this season and you look at where the Eagles are and you look at what's going on in the conference, the Eagles are on a collision course with the Detroit Lions. I think most people know this. I'm hearing a lot of different analysts and stuff beginning to talk about the Eagles and the Lions. Really, in my opinion, there are really the Lions and the Eagles, and then there's everybody else. All right, here's a current look after 11 weeks of the playoff picture. You have the Lions are the 1 seed. The Eagles are the 2 seed. And the Eagles are 1 game behind the Lions. Then you have the 3 seed, the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams will beat the Arizona Cardinals. Then you have the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is not beating the Eagles again. I don't care where they play. That ain't happening twice. But Atlanta's the 4th seed. Then you have the Vikings, the 5th seed. Now, the Vikings have a pretty good record, but the thing is they're not winning the division. So they're essentially a wild card team, which means they would have to come to Philly. Then you have the Packers. Packers, they've been up and down this year. I still think out of all the teams that I've mentioned, besides the Eagles and the Lions, they would be the most dangerous. And then we have the Commanders are 7, and we've known what we've seen from them. Right now, the 49ers, they lost again last week. They're in last place. This is a Eagles-Detroit conference. And it's going to come down to those 2 teams in the NFC Championship game. It looks like it. The Eagles and the Lions will tear through any of these teams in the NFC in the playoffs, especially if they're playing at home. So the Eagles, they got to get home field advantage, and that has to be key. One team that you don't see up here, I just want to point it out, is the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, where are thou, Dallas Cowboys? Where did you go? Where are you at? Cowboys, they're not even close to being in a playoff picture. If you want a picture to sum up the entire Dallas Cowboys season, this is it. Mark and his rubber ducky. That's hilarious. Rubber chicken, rather. That's hilarious. How pathetic the Dallas Cowboys are. You have to love it. Now, listen. I know that you're probably saying, some people are probably saying, what are you doing, man? We got the Rams this week. We can't talk about the Lions. Let's just stay on task, stay on focus. I'm a fan. All right, I'm a fan. I can overlook any team I want. I have nothing to do with the outcome of the game. Okay, only maybe where I sit and what I wear during game days. That affects the game. I have no doubt about it. But the truth of the matter is this. The Eagles have to take care of business this week. This week versus the Rams. Those two receivers are really, really good. And if you go out on Sunday Night Football and you shut them out, okay, if you shut down Cooper Kupp and Nakua, holy crap. What is anybody going to be able to say about this defense at that point? Anybody that has any doubts, I don't think will be able to doubt anymore, because those are really, really good receivers. And one thing about this game, too, is I think this is another giant Jalen Carter game. I think he's going to go out and have a monster game. But I want to see Cooper DeJean on Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper versus Cooper. It's going to be very interesting. Quinion, let him go against Nakua. Let's see what they can do. This is a great test for the Eagles, because that's a well-coached offense, good coach, good offense, and they're finally healthy. However, once they get shut down by these young guys like Q, once they go and send the Rams to Guantanamo Bay, and then you look at the rest of the schedule, the Eagles will have the two toughest games left on their schedule will be the Ravens, AFC opponent, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, AFC opponent. Other than that, the Eagles are going to run the table. And I don't think Pittsburgh's coming to Philly and winning, by the way. So, to me, I think the Eagles are looking at worst one more loss. But you got to take care of business. I'm not saying you don't have to take care of it. But I'm just saying that when you look at what is setting up right now, there's only two teams in the NFC Conference, in my opinion, that are really Super Bowl contenders. And there's only really two teams that could basically beat each other. And so the deal is you have to get home field advantage. That's the key to this. Because if the Eagles can come back and steal home field from the Detroit Lions, force a dome team to have to come to Philly in January and play, and hopefully it'll be freaking cold outside, okay? You're in really good shape. And if you have to go to Detroit, I still don't think it's over. I think the Eagles, with their run game and with the defense and the way that they're playing, I think the Eagles are set up to beat the Detroit Lions. I also think the Lions are set up to beat the Eagles. I think it's going to be a really, really good game, and that's what we're on. We are on a collision course with Detroit. However, yes, we've got to go take care of business, and it starts Sunday versus the Rams. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat, and remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. You know what? One of the things that I wanted to mention in this video that I didn't was I feel like we've got to give Darius Slay some credit. I know he takes a lot of crap. When the Eagles lose, he posts his career statistics. And yeah, he could do things that annoy you. I totally get it. But you know what? Darius Slay's having a good year too. I mean, we've got to give him credit. It's not just all the young guys. Guys like Darius Slay are having a good year, a really good year. How about Brandon Graham? Brandon Graham is not playing like his age. Josh Sweat has really come on. So I want to give Darius Slay and all those guys the credit they deserve. And I think the most underrated thing about having Darius Slay and why it was good the Eagles didn't entertain trading him or anything like that is you can't tell me that he is not having an impact and in terms of mentorship for Q and for Cooper DeJean. He helps both those guys tremendously. So shout out to Darius Slay and those other guys who have done a really, really good job at being mentors, being leaders on this team. I think they deserve credit. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.